Para, Julie. Hi, good morning. So, we are doing parametric equations, problem sample. So, question number 1 is like that. They want to know the parametric equation. So, let me read the problem. A dart is from upward with initial velocity of 58 feet per second at an angle of elevation 41. Consider the position of the dart at any time, t equals 0 when the dart is from. So, letter A. Find the parametric equation that models the problem situation. How are we going to find the equation? Well, it's really easy. So, first of all, the equation that you need to know is that x is equal v cosine of an angle and t. Wait a minute. Why is it v? Well, v is the velocity and t represents the parametric equation. T is always like, every time you see a t, it's most likely parametric equation, okay? So, why is it x equals v cosine of an angle and t? Well, it's just like we were doing the unit circle. X is always cosine and y is always sine. So the same thing will be for y, but the difference is that it's gonna be v sine of an angle in parentheses t minus 16 t squared plus initial height. Wait, but why is it 16 again? Well, it is a gravity feed when there's no wind, okay? So the initial height is usually gonna be like 0, most likely. But if you're given in the problem, you just put like the given number in the height, in the initial height. Or if you don't see anything, you're just guessing that it's 0. Alright, so the first one, since we're giving 58 feet per second and we're giving 41 degrees as an angle, it's gonna be x equals 58 cosine of 41 and t. When you plug into your calculator, you get a number like 43.8, okay? And then to find out the y, is the same thing. You put 58 sine 41 of t minus 16 t squared plus 0. Remember, because I told you guys that 0 is when you know that it's 0, the gravity, not the gravity, the initial height. Okay, and the gravity is minus 16 when there's no wind. And then when you plug into your calculator, you get 38.1 for 58 sine 41. So you get x equals 38.1 t minus 16 t squared plus 0. And then the drawing that I did is really easy. It's throwing a dart, right? So I put a little dot here with the dart, and then if it goes all the way like that, I put velocity equals 58 feet per second and 41 degrees, okay? So let's do, the graph is the letter B, okay? And then we're gonna do letter C. What portion of the graph represents the problem situation? Well, you're giving 58 feet, which is the velocity per second, and you're also giving the positive angle of 41 degrees. And also, you know that t is equals 0 when the dart is from. You know? So that's how you know. Let's go to letter D. When will the dart hit the ground? Well, that's simple. Let's look at it. Remember that in the y, we kind of get a equation like t squared and then t, and then, so you get a, b, and c. You can use the formula to figure that out, to find out when the ball is going to hit the ground. What you do is you put minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a. Well, what makes easier for me is when, instead of writing 38.1 t minus 16 t squared plus 0, I write in the regular way, like 1, 2, 3, you know, instead of 2, 2, 3, 1, you know. So what I did is I wrote minus 16t squared plus 38.1t plus 0. Why? Because 16 t squared is the a, and 38.1 is the b because it's only like a t. And then since here squared, this is gonna be the a, and because there's only one variable, it's gonna be b, and then here's gonna be c, the number. So when you plug into the equation, you get minus 38.1 plus or minus 38.1 squared minus 4 times 16 times 0. Divided by 2 times minus 16 because it's divided by 2a, and since 2a is 16, you're gonna it's minus 16. You're gonna multiply by minus 16. But and then look what is really interesting. Since you are multiplying minus 4 times minus 16 times 0, you get a 0 equation. And since it's plus or minus, you're gonna divide it in 2. So what will happen? You will have minus 38.1 plus 38.1. What is interesting about it is 0. So 0 divided by minus 32 is equal to 0. And then when you take the square root of this, you get minus 38.1 minus 38.1 divided by minus 32. You get when you approximate, you get 2.38, which is basically 2.4 because since a is above 5, you just change the other number, so it becomes a 4. So now we have to figure out letter E, which says find the maximum height of the dart. At what time will the dart reach the maximum height? Well, that's easy. So the maximum height of the dart in the time that the dart. So first of all, when you want to find out the maximum height, you use Vertex Formula, minus b over 2a. And then where do you get minus b over 2a? Well, it's easy, it's from the y value. So you go back here and you see, oh, okay, so my a is minus 16 and b is 38.1. So it's going to be minus 38.1 over 2 times minus 16 because minus b over 2a. When you divided that, since they're negative and negative, you get a positive number around 1.2 seconds. And then when is gonna be the time? When is gonna be the maximum, right? Let's see again. Find the maximum height of the dart, and what time will the dart reach the maximum height? Well, we just found the time that it's gonna hit, so it's gonna be 1.2 seconds. And how are we gonna find out the maximum height? Well, we're just gonna plug it in the formula. So let's go back to all the way to y, okay? We're gonna have 38.1 times 1.2, and then minus 16 times 1.2, and you don't need to plus 0, which is like nothing, 0. So when we do that, we get 68.8, okay? And the last question, but the least but not the last, okay? We have, how far does the dart travel in the horizontal direction? Well, how far? Let's think about it. We need to plug it into the x. What is our x? Velocity cosine of an angle t, which we found out it was 43.8. And since we know when we did the formula here, we got two timings, 0 and 2.4. What will happen is, since our x is equals 43.8 t stands for the time, and since we found out the time here is 2.4, we're just gonna plug it in and multiply by 2.4, which we will get x equals 105.12, which is basically x equals 105.1 feet, because 2 doesn't really change the 1 because it's not above 5. Okay, now we're gonna go to the next video, so you have to watch it again.